Welcome back to another video for the Linux series. In this video, I'm going to be covering managing Linux shared storage. And I'm just going to do a couple exercises. The first one being creating a RAID array, right? And what that does is a RAID, redundant array of independent disk, right? It allows to store the same data in multiple different hard drives or disks, right? So let's say if one fails, I can still access the data from a different drive. So first, I'm going to use mdadm to create a RAID array. As I mentioned, it's got to connect to the Linux uh, server to get started. So let's secure shell into administrator 192.168. Oh, yes. Perfect. And I'm officially in. All right. So let's do that. Let's take a look at what's going on in here. So we see the partitions for SDA. All right. And I'll be creating a RAID array for the SDB and SDC disk, by the way. So let's get started with the sudo sup command. All right, perfect. So now I'm in the root. So let's clear this out so I can have a nice clean screen. I'm gonna start some concatenation. All right, you'll see the stats. Okay. Use devices, none. I mean, there's no devices being currently used by a RAID array. So let's do, you know, shouldn't be any issues here. Perfect. It's officially started. So it just, what I did was just started the creation of the RAID 0 array named MD0, right? And we're just going to confirm that it was created. Yep, there it is. There it is. Love to see it. All right. So it's been successfully created on the SDB and the SDC disk, which is exactly what I wanted. So now what I can do for my next exercise is create a file system on a RAID array, right? So first to get started, I'm going to create an ext4 file system. So I'm going to get started here. Okay, perfect. So this creates the ext4 file system on the MD0 RAID array. So let's do that there so we can take a look. So I can see the ext file system. As you can see here on the view, it's now successfully created on the MD0 RAID arrays. You can see there, right? So now what I'm going to do is mount the RAID array, right? So first I'm going to create a mount point and then mount the RAID array. So first, kind of make a directory int MD0. All right, perfect. So I just created a mount point for the MD0 RAID array. And so now I'm going to mount here, MD0 T0. All right, perfect. So just going to mount so now what it did, just now it's mount the RAID array to the ext4 file system. So we're just going to confirm it like we normally do. All right, perfect. And now both systems are, make sure I like it correctly. Both file systems are successfully mounted. You can see here, perfect. So now what I'm going to do finally for my last exercise, I'm going to make the RAID array array persistent. So first, in order to do this, I'm going to first reassemble the RAID at boot. So let's actually clear this out. It's a bit convoluted for me. So um, do some piping here. All right, sorry if it's did that. Oh, because I can't spell. Okay, perfect. There we go. So I've just configured the RAID 0 array to be reassembled at boot using my mdadm command. So let's do a sudo edit. All right, perfect. So I'm just going to apply some configurations to the file system table file to make the RAID 0 array persistent, as I mentioned. So let's actually head to the bottom here. No, it's not what I wanted. Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to save it. Then I'm going to get out of here. All right. So now I'm going to do an update. Generating. So just update the init RAM file system. Might take a moment. All right, so that's finally completed. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have. All right, perfect. So the command, let's see. All right, perfect. So it did finally update. So we're good to go as far as the init RAM file system. So we're good to go there. So that means we're going to exit out of here, and exit out of the Linux server, and close the PowerShell window. And we are good to go. And I'm actually going to close out the end of this video. So for a brief recap, I've showcased managing Linux shared storage, created a RAID array, created a file system, mounted the RAID array, made it persistent. Also, as well as far as the RAID array. And again, this is part of the Linux series. We're going to go into even more topics. Next video's topic is going to be Linux scripting techniques. It's going to be very fun. Can't wait to see you there. Hope to see you there. In the meantime, stay curious, stay secure.